We like to keep an eye on the moneyed class, where the money is going. We do it in a segment we call That's Rich. Oh, Craig cut us a new open for that.
Who are they?
The top 1/10 of 1%.
What are they like?
These people are so posh and snobby, they're snotty.
That's Rich on the Mark Thompson Show.
I like that open more than the other one. Yeah, I like that one more. That's great. Thank you, Craig Bowers. Really cool. Yeah. Little cute little music bed at the end. Oh, very, very cool. Let's start in Sacramento. The Sacramento real estate news that a 5-bedroom home there in Davis is selling. It's 4,125 square feet in Davis, okay? Built in 1997. It is now selling for $1.7 million. That to me is a lot of money for. Now, it's a big place.
Yeah.
You think, it's just saying it's so big that's the reason it's just expensive. It's almost $2 million.
Well, UC Davis is right there, so there's a lot of wealthy professors, right?
That's true. I think.
Well, at a state university, not a lot of wealthy professors.
I don't know wealthy professors, but they're it's well located.
Yeah.
A couple of professors could live there.
It's perfectly situated.
5 bedrooms. How many baths? Kim, you want to guess?
8.
Wow, look at you with the 8 baths. John, would you like to guess the number of bathrooms in a 5-bedroom house?
7.
Tony, would you like to guess number of bathrooms, please? 5 bedrooms. How many baths?
3.
I love how Tony's really reflective all the time when you ask him. The answer is 4. 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Wow, that is
the
just
1 bedroom. Right.
Well done, Tony.
Yeah, use one of the bedrooms as a bathroom, and that's everything.
Brett would not be happy with that ratio.
No, Brett would not be. We should get Brett on the show before the end of the year. That'd be fun.
He's like, Mark who?
Yeah, exactly. Mark, I'm on KCBS doing traffic and weather together now. Can't be bothered. Someone just paid more than $200,000 for Steve Jobs' old Birkenstocks, everyone. Yeah.
Were they washed?
It's a record, the highest price ever paid for a pair of sandals at auction. I love that somebody's keeping track of that. The tech pioneer's brown suede Arizona sandals, which were expected to make $60,000 at auction, sold instead for $218,750 when they went under the hammer at Julian's auction. Were accompanied by an NFT. Prior to the sale, the California auction said the sandals, described as well-used but still intact, were a wardrobe staple for Jobs in the 1970s and 80s. Of course, he died in 2011.
Aren't Birkenstocks like you slide your foot in and it kind of molds to the form of your foot? So it's kind of a one sandal.
They have a cork
situation.
There's a cork. There's a cork quality to them. I know.
They're straps, but you can slide in once they're set.
I will say this, and this is kind of wild. They had been thrown away, and they were rescued from the trash by Mark Scheff, who's a former house manager to Steve Jobs. So he had thrown them out, and Scheff grabbed them. And look at that! Instead of the $60,000, they went for over $200,000.
Who's bidding on this? Like foot fetish people?
Steve Jobs has a pretty big legacy in the world, so maybe it was that. But
I don't know.
But still, that's this gross old foot yucko sandals.
Well, you see it that way, but it's not. You're not going to wear them. You have them as a.
What, are you going to put them in a display case with like security laser beams?
You are right with an early iteration of some Apple computer.
Yeah.
Over here, you can see where he stepped in gum.
I wonder if it's at all tax deductible. We'll ask Moskowitz. I don't think it is. Maybe if you. I'll bet you Moskowitz. Well, let's ask him. When we come back, I want to continue with That's Rich. I have a major figure who used to sneak into huge events. He was the guy, the gate crasher. He passed away, but I'll tell you about his scam and what he did. He was a regular at so many huge events, and he never paid to get in. We'll do that next.
The Mark Thompson Show.
How about it for Steve Moskowitz? So, Steve Moskowitz, I ask you, you're at an auction. In this case, it's the auction where Steve Jobs' sandals were being auctioned, and they thought they'd get $60,000 for it. They got over $200,000 for these auction items of the sandals, the Birkenstocks. Is that at all? The only way it would be tax deductible is if I had a business of people coming through my home or whatever looking at the sandals, and I charge for that, or I'm trying to now anticipate.
You would have your tax deduction when you sold it, because if you bought it for $200 and you sold it for $300, you don't pay tax on $300. You only pay tax on $300 minus $200 is $100. And then what you do is you set up in a business so you have a pension deduction to offset it, and your office and your helpers, including, you can hire your family members and pay them fair market value for services actually performed. So instead of paying for your kid's school, you teach them a work ethic and you pay him, and he's got a brand new tax bracket. And if the kid is under age 18, you don't have Social Security tax on him. So there's a bunch of stuff you can do.
Wow.
Ooh, it's a wild idea. Just might
and that's just off the top of my head for starters.
Right. I mean, exactly.
I'm sending
Guys,
my
Mark
kids to
doesn't give
Steve
me a heads
Moskowitz.
up on this. This is what I thought of when he asked me.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more.
I'm sending my kids to Moskowitz tax summer camp. That's what it is. Finance.
Oh, nice.
Finance camp.
That not such a bad idea.
That's something that I always wanted to do. Back when I was a law professor, I asked the dean if I could teach. I wanted to teach my own class. I was going to call it Practical Tax, which, by the way, is the name of the podcast I'm doing with Chip.
Yeah.
And I was told no, I had to stick to the book, and that was it. And, that's one of the things that I'd like to say for the people that, obviously we want to do everything for you within the bounds of law. But if you think a little bit, there's so much that it can apply to you. Like what Mark asked me on this sale with Steve Jobs. Literally, that's just off the top of my head. Just imagine with a little bit of planning the difference it could make, as opposed to somebody says, there's nothing you can do, just pay tax on it. And there's so many people that can benefit from that. And that's one of the things that we do is year-round tax planning, where we say, look, let's set these things up, because I know here it's December and some people are scrambling for tax planning right now. And we do that too. There's some things you can do by December 31st to save you taxes. But rather, it's kind of like eating dinner. You don't just eat dinner in December. You eat dinner year round. There's a reason for that, because your body needs the nourishment. Well, here your taxes need the nourishment of constant planning, not to mention getting all kinds of things for you like ERC, where the government's giving away money. They're giving away up to $26,000 for every employee that you had during 2020 and 2021 that otherwise qualifies. And you say, well, your CPA told you don't qualify because your gross revenue didn't go down enough. There's two ways to qualify. One way is a drop in gross revenue. That's the easy way. And we start there too. If we can get it for you the easy way, of course we're going to do it the easy way. But a lot of CPAs are mass producing these now. And if your gross revenue didn't drop, no ERC for you, goodbye, next. Where we'll take the time with you. And sometimes some of these clients, Mark, I'm meeting with them 2 and 3 times to get the information to determine, do they qualify? I don't care if I have to meet with somebody 2 or 3 times. The only thing I care about is, can I legally get them the money, especially when their CPA said, no, you don't qualify. Because the next thing I'm going to ask them is, hey, we'd like to replace that CPA. You already see what we've done for you in this one instance. Let's show you what else we can do.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reality. I mean, you can call Steve about these various things. I think government money left on the table it's obscene. We pay so much into this government, and why not get something back? And if you're eligible for it, damn it, you deserve it. And that's the way tax exposure should work as well. There's no need for you to pay more than you should. So within the law, Steve can help you with aggressively looking at your situation and seeing what you are legally entitled to. Reach Steve at 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL. You see what I do with him. I dump a situation on him. We've had no conversation about it because I wasn't even thinking about it until we did the story. I dumped the situation on him, and right away he starts spinning. Well, we could do this, we could do that. If with 30 seconds of even research, that plan begins to expand and other strategies may apply to your life. It's just I think there's a level of excitement Steve has when it comes to taxes that he could apply to your situation. 888-TAX-DEAL, 888-TAX-DEAL, or MoskowitzLLP.com, MOSKOWITZ, MoskowitzLLP.com. Steve, thanks, man.
Thanks, Mark, and everybody that knows me knows I really do get excited over taxes. How could you not?
How could you not? I can speak to that. All right, Steve Moskowitz, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Love it. Good stuff.
The Mark Thompson Show.
I want to get back to That's Rich, because there's stuff going on. I was saying before we took a break with Steve, there's this guy who's the ultimate gate crasher, okay? So he paid for nothing. These Taylor Swift tickets, he would never buy them for $8,000 a piece, but he would get into the Taylor Swift concert. He just passed away. His name is Dion Rich. He always said, why pay when you don't have to? He sneaked into more than 30 Super Bowls. All right. A lifetime of Oscar events. He got into the Oscars throughout his life. A few dozen Golden Globes events.
How do you sneak into the Oscars?
Well, you know, Mark, you've done this, haven't you?
I snuck into the Vanity Fair party once, and I saw Ellen DeGeneres there, and I know Ellen, and I kind of waved to her. She was really really coming onto her own before her show, but really coming onto her own. And I thought, she's legitimately here. I'm not legitimately here, so I don't want to get too
I thought you were going to say really drunk.
No. We were at the bar. It was still early. I'll tell you, though, how he got into NFL games. He claimed he was an NFL ref. He dressed as a doctor. He had a black bag and stethoscope. Okay, so he really sold it. He had props for every situation. He pretended to be with the band, the press, the organist. He'd get in events all these different ways. One time he got into the Super Bowl by pushing himself in a wheelchair. He had enough disguises, they say, to satisfy a studio backlot. He was everywhere. At the first Super Bowl in New Orleans after 9/11, there was intense security everywhere. You may recall this. Triple fencing, armored vehicles, National Guardsmen, all there at the Super Bowl right after 9/11. And it took him 6 minutes to get in.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's the guy you should hire to test your security, right?
Yeah. No, it's really true. He made a Sports Illustrated cover running on the field with the Pittsburgh Steelers coach, Chuck Noll. He's in a picture with Oprah Winfrey, Bill Clinton, Tiger Woods. He likes photobombing before there was photobombing. Somebody says, I'm a little surprised that Dion's face is not in Da Vinci's Last Supper. That's how everywhere he was. So he passes away now at, how old did I say he was? He was, I don't see how old he was. 92 years old.
John Watson wants to know if he'll sneak into heaven.
Well, it's funny you say that, because upon his death, he said he wanted his tombstone to read, cause of death, living. Cause of death, living. But he hated funerals, so with a sizable budget, he's throwing himself a kicking the bucket blowout bash instead. It'll be sometime in January. It'll be held by friends and family. Wild.
So was he rich?
I don't think so.
Well, he had the last name.
He did have the last name.
He just got into events where the rich generally were the ones with access, rich or famous. But Dion Rich was his name. And he did not pay to get in anywhere. So that's his story today. There is, as I finish up, I have two other stories from That's Rich I wanted to share with you. One is what's happening in New Jersey. They are adding luxury apartments to a mall. 550 luxury apartments, 2 million square feet will be added to a shopping mecca, the 15th largest in the nation, second
nothing
biggest
says
in New
luxury
Jersey.
like living in a New Jersey mall.
Where do you live? Right above the Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, that's right. The plan, which it was conceived pre-COVID, 2 new buildings that will go up in an existing parking lot on the west side of the mall, along with parks, gardens, commercial office space, and a transit center. So there's that. You saw in San Jose, they just put up the plans for that 2 high-rises that are going to go up in place of that restaurant. You saw that, John? I think I sent you the story. It's kind of wild. So it's high-rises, it's luxury apartments. They're going up everywhere. So, the economy when it comes to real estate is back. And here's the other story I wanted to share with you. The highest paid municipal worker in California. How much? I'm just going to tell you. I wonder how I want to do this.
Is that with overtime or without?
Yeah, right. With overtime, right.
Mm-hmm.
The highest paid California municipal employee. I'm just going to tell you. I'll spare you the.
Can I guess first?
Yeah. Oh yeah, go ahead if you want to.
550K.
All right, let's do it then. The highest paid municipal worker. What was their take home last year? I'm looking in the cool million, says Tom. Highest paid public workers are football coaches. Well, I know this is a municipal worker, not public worker. In your mind, do you have a figure? Here it is. I will give you the answer. Tony, what do you think is the answer? He's always thoughtful about these things.
998,000, because he's not greedy to go for $1 million. He's just going to go right under. Fly under the radar.
John, what do you think?
Yeah, the implication that we don't put any thought into these things. 750,000.
Oh, man. John, how about that?
Fabulous producer, John Daly.
The answer is $716,000 last year, according to state records. Yeah.
Debbie gets it.
He's a Beverly Hills cop, and he tops the list of the highest paid California municipal employees, 100 of whom took home 100 municipal employees took home $439,000 or more in total wages last year.
Yeah.
He's the assistant police chief's dude. 716,284. What's that?
Is that the official title?
Yeah, I just gave him that title. So listen to this, though. $208,000 in regular income. The rest for lump sum and other pay. Mark Coopwood retired last year as assistant police chief in Beverly Hills after 4 years and 7 months. Well, why not? You're making that kind of loot. He was issued a final payment that included 12 months' salary and benefits, as well as compensation for unused leave. Wow. The top 10 highest paid people include city managers in West Hollywood, Artesia, and Fremont, 2 fire captains in the city of Los Angeles, and a firefighter, as well as a load dispatcher at the L.A. Department of Water and Power, who booked $400,000 in overtime compensation. I mean, it's pretty insane.
What?
Yeah.
Really get that overtime.
This reminds me of that Bart janitor that was sleeping in the closet. Do you remember that? He was getting like $200K in overtime. He had a total like $276,000 in salary.
What city has the highest paid mayor? What city, as long as we're talking about municipal employees, that's why I mentioned it. What city
In the country?
has the highest paid mayor in the state? I mean, it's pretty easy. You got to go. You figure it's either Fresno, Sacramento, San Francisco, or Los Angeles, I would think, right? Maybe Bakersfield also. I'd throw Bakersfield in.
Yeah, but you have to throw corruption into the formula. I think Mohammed Nuru.
Well, you're getting warm. You're getting warm with Muhammad Nuru. You're getting warm.
Did this person receive a car from
a lot of votes for Atherton in the chat?
Yeah, a lot of votes for Atherton. I'll just put it this way. She had a good time at the Black Cat, the mayor of San Francisco. London breed, everybody. Wow. She was the highest paid mayor in the state. She made on salary $353,802. Wow. Really, really cool. Well, I mean, that's a lot of
obscene number.
I had a good time at the Black Cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about you and whether or not you know who Raphael Sadiq and Dwayne Wiggins are.
I do now. What was that, Johnny? Sorry, I was talking over you.
If you look at a list of public employees in San Francisco, there's an obscene number of people making over six figures.
Well, because the city isn't, it's fine. Everything's proceeding. Yeah.
By the way, if you won either of those questions, you get nothing.
Yes, it is in the rich tradition of this show that we sadly we have nothing for
you. Get
nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. But that, my friends, that's rich for today.
More on how the other half lives.
These people aren't just rich; they're crazy rich.
Next time on the Mark Thompson Show.
Yeah, that's Craig Bowers with our new open and close. Thank you, Craig.